I saw that. I saw one.
All right, we will round out our media availability here at Kansas Speedway with Carl Edwards, driver of the number 99 Fastenal Ford. Carl, best average finish here of any driver with a 7.6. Talk a little bit about that, as well as starting the contender round here and what you feel about these races, Kansas, Charlotte, Talladega, and your thoughts on that.
I didn't know we had the best average finish. That's nice.
We're here to please.
Thank you. I appreciate it. When you don't point out when I have the worst one, that's nice. So you just point out the good ones. So yeah, we feel like this will be a good racetrack for us. I obviously love this place. I mean, I can see at least 2 people in the room whose cars I've driven or who've helped me. So this place is special. So we feel like we have an opportunity to run well at this race. We don't know exactly how we're going to run at Charlotte. But we feel like we can do very well at Talladega. So this round is one that we've looked forward to. I'm glad we made it in. And, man, it would be great to kick it off with a win here.
All right, we'll open it up for questions. We'll start with Stan, then go back to Steve, Chris, and Bob.
Hey, Carl, Stan Creekmore with Competition Plus. I think you're the very first driver who's ever sounded enthusiastic about racing at Talladega. What gives you that enthusiasm?
Well, it's the first time I've been enthusiastic about Talladega, and it's because of the format combined with the opportunity it gives our team in particular. And I think that this format perfectly suits our situation in that we have not been the dominant car all year, but right now we're tied with guys like Brad Keselowski and Jeff Gordon. I mean, we have an opportunity now to make something happen. And if I were those guys, I'd be frustrated. But right now we're going to take advantage of this. And then the Talladega in particular, it gives us an opportunity to go out and regardless of our performance here at these 2 tracks, we know we have a good super speedway program. We don't have anything to lose. We can go out and race for that win.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll go Steve, Chris, Bob, and Nate.
Steve Post, Motor Racing Network. Carl, you've talked about it before, but can you kind of restate this racetrack, what it meant to you as a short track racer in this area, and also take it to the level of this whole area, what's happened with all of the development around this racetrack. But what was that like as a young racer going up, knowing that they're building this place here in your area?
I mean, I can tell you, I mean, Scott Traylor's sitting in here, Roger Mosier are sitting over there. I mean, these are guys that I raced with, and they know what it's like to be a racer here in Missouri, like I grew up being, and to know that NASCAR was building this huge facility, ISC was building this beautiful racetrack over here, and it was just the perspective I had 10 years ago or 15 years ago about this racetrack. This was it. I mean, I'd drive by on the interstate, and it was just, I couldn't believe that there was a NASCAR track right here, this close to home, and so to be driving here now and to be driving a Sprint Cup Series car here, it's I mean, it's almost like a dream world. I mean, it's something that I thought about every day, and I just dreamed of. So for me, it's really important, and a win here would be so special. I can't even. I mean, just to race here is as neat as winning at some of the other tracks I've won at, and I'm not just saying that. It's really a special place.
Okay, we'll take our next one from Chris, then go Bob, Nate, and Ryan.
Carl, Chris Knight, CatchMess.com. Looking ahead to next year with testing being outlawed for the season, are you going to put any emphasis on trying to run some nationwide races with Joe Gibbs Racing to try to get accustomed and get fitted in over there?
I don't know. I really haven't thought about that much, and I've made my. And this is not. I'm not trying to avoid your question. I've really made the decision not to worry about next year. As much as the competitor in me wants to start planning for next year and doing all that, I think the right thing for me to do is to focus on driving Jack's number 99 Ford and to get the most I can out of that. And I think as soon as I start thinking about anything else, it could hurt us just a little bit. And right now we can't afford that. So.
All right, go ahead with your question, Bob.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. I know you're a Missouri guy, but are you a Chiefs guy or a Royals guy? And do you have any sense of kind of the euphoria in the area for the sports teams here?
Well, everybody's doing so well, you can't even keep up. But I'll tell you what, I didn't know a lot about the Royals organization until earlier this year. The Speedway sent me over there, and they were nice enough at Kauffman Stadium to welcome me, let me throw out the first pitch. And I spent a bunch of time with Ned Yost and I mean, I became a fan. So it's really cool to see what the Royals are able to do, what they've been able to do. MU had a big win the other day. That was cool to watch for Gary Pinkel. I haven't kept up with the Chiefs, but really, we actually had an invite to Ned Yost to come out here to the racetrack, and we're glad that he can't because of all their success. So yeah, it's fun to be a Missouri fan right now.
Okay, we'll go Nate, Ryan, Pete, and Todd.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. Carl, going back to this place being a dream world for you, obviously when Clint was in here earlier, he had the same sort of verve and enthusiasm, and I'm sure Jamie McMurray shares that. But there are other drivers like Kyle Busch, where this place has been a house of horrors, and he has kind of talked about dreading coming here.
Right.
Can that impact performance at all, just coming here with a good attitude? I know it doesn't make the car go faster, but does it put you in a frame of mind that allows you to perform better somehow?
I don't know. I think it probably doesn't. I mean, all of us are professional enough, and we're focused enough that it really doesn't matter what happens around the race or in your personal life, whatever. Once you get in the car, you go as fast as the car can go. But I know for me, it's just neat. I mean, just the whole weekend is fun. I mean, being here today, just talking to people I haven't talked to for a long time. We talked about Roger. I get to hang out with him after this. We're going to talk about what he's been up to, and I don't know. I guess the simple way to put it is I just never thought I'd be racing here, and so I feel like I don't know how to explain it. I guess it's just it's a neat place. I'm sorry that some people don't like it, but it wouldn't matter how I ran here. I'd still enjoy coming. I mean, it's fun.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Ryan, then go to Pete.
Ryan McGee, ESPN. Carl, maybe one of the top 10 most famous second-place finishes of all time was you here. Just look at approached about that, because I get asked about it. The almost win here.
Yeah.
You still get asked about that because that's still one of the most viewed YouTube clips that they've had from this racetrack ever.
It was fun. I mean, I was really, really upset we didn't win. But yeah, that's how bad I want to win here. I didn't. Looking back, that's probably a pretty stupid move. We were racing for the championship, and I intentionally ran the thing into the wall. But I just want to win here. I mean, that's. If I can see the lead, if there's a chance to get the win here, we're going to go get it. So I guarantee you, the last run, if we got a shot to win, I won't be thinking about points or anything like that, which I probably should be. But this place is it's special.
Okay, we'll take our next question right there from Pete.
Pete Bastoni, MRN.com, Sirius XM, NASCAR Radio. Chicago, New Hampshire, Dover. Building blocks from those at all that you can move forward to?
That's a good question. We struggled at Chicago. We struggled at Dover, at Loudon, and then we ran pretty well at Dover. At the end of the race, we had a car that was solidly a top 10 car. So that, I don't know if you guys can follow me on this here, but the way we see this is if we can stay in the chase, okay, that's obviously you have to do that to compete for the championship. And then if simultaneously at the same time we can gain a little bit of speed and all that, if it works out, we can make it to Homestead and find a couple things. We feel like we have a shot. And so we've done the first part. We made it through into the first round. We made it past the first round. And that little glimpse of speed at Dover it's kind of like, hey, maybe we can actually find a little speed. Maybe we can do this. So that was the biggest building block. And if you look at the Roush Fenway Fords in practice, we weren't that good. We struggled with a couple little things. But on average, we're a little faster than we've been. And I hope we can continue that. I mean, if we stumble on a couple little things and make it to the next round, we feel pretty good.
Okay, we'll come up front to Todd, then go back to the back.
Hey, Carl, how you doing? I wanted to ask you about, Clint becoming a father this week. What do you remember about when you had your kids, and how did that change you at all as a race car driver?
I don't think so. I think as racers, I've always tried to separate everything away from the racetrack and the track, because at the end of the day, when you get in the race car, it doesn't matter, PR, marketing, personal stuff, next year, the previous year, none of that stuff really matters. And I feel like, at the end of the day, you have to focus on being good in that race car. And I guess, I don't know, I can't ever find a pattern, it's like if you're struggling with something outside of the race car, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll struggle in the race car. If things are going really good outside the race car, it doesn't necessarily translate. But I think Clint, I definitely feel I'm happy for him and Laura. They're great people, and I'm just glad everything went well. And I think he'll be a great dad.
Yeah, I think we had another question here.
Hey, Carl. So I think your lifestyle, you were just talking about it, but do you spend more time in Missouri? It's kind of non-typical the way that you live. I believe you spend more time in Columbia than you do North Carolina. You have a family now. Is it important for you to bring your kids up in Missouri, and why do you take, the time to live here in Missouri and fly back and forth? Kind of explain that to us.
Well, I don't know who said it, but somebody said if you want to be the best at something, find something you love and don't do it too much. And I think that, I try to apply that because I ran 7 years nationwide in Cup Series full time, ran all over the place. Randy and we looked at some old calendars the other day. I mean, if you go back the amount of time I've spent thinking about racing and working on racing is immense. And for me, it's important to get away, for a day or two a week, to not be completely immersed in the culture of racing all the time. That's just something I've noticed. For me, it works, and I learned that early on. It was tough just to constantly be at the shop, constantly be around everything, because sometimes you couldn't get a good perspective on things. And so for me, being away a little bit, away from North Carolina a little bit, helps. I come to the racetrack and I'm ready to race. I mean, I love it. Just like, when we were hanging out at I-70 Speedway. I mean, I want to get in the car and I want to go, and I feel like I've got a good balance so that I don't ever think I'll get burnt out on this. I'll be able to do it well as long as I'm capable of it.
Do you live a normal life and walk around Columbia without people bugging you?
People definitely treat me differently, which is weird. But I have had the opportunity to meet a lot of really neat people, and I'm super, super grateful to all of my fans. When I walk out of here, there's people out there wearing my jackets and hats, and that means a lot. The support means a ton, and not so much when things are going well, but when it's going bad. I feel like the people in Missouri and the people here have been behind me 100%, and that means the world. It's a really cool feeling.
Final questions? All right, Stan, one final question.
Okay, so you have all this enthusiasm being here and everything. What did the first practice tell you?
The first practice told me that I think we've got a pretty good shot at a good qualifying spot. Greg was extremely fast, and that was good. He was doing some things, I think, a little bit differently than us. So we'll lean on him. We'll go have our meeting. We'll figure out if we can go that direction. But the thing is the race is still an unknown. The track temps are cool. The track is fresh. The rubber's all been washed off. So tomorrow will really tell us where we stack up for the race. This place can be really tough. Track position is going to be key. The speeds are so high. We're going through the corners extremely fast. And I think that if you don't start up front, if you don't have a really good spot, and you could be in trouble. Plus, I think there's the potential for some big wrecks here. These restarts are crazy, and it's so knife edge. You're racing just right on the edge, and if somebody messes up, you could take out, they could take out 3 or 4 cars. So I don't know yet how we're going to be in the race.
Carl, thank you very much for your time today.
All right, thanks, guys.
Good luck this weekend.